May sound like science fiction, but health officials say it's a real problem. The CDC is sounding the alarm on a potentially deadly fungal threat.
It is called Candida auris, and one Lexington doctor says it's been on his radar for more than a year now. WKYT's Samantha Valentino sat down with him today to find out if it's something that you should be worried about.
Since the first American case of Candida auris was reported in 2016, there have only been a few dozen cases reported annually, according to the CDC. But by 2021, annual cases jumped 95% from 2020, and preliminary figures show more than 2,000 additional cases for 2022. The CDC reports that Kentucky saw 0 cases in 2020, 7 in 2021, and at least 22 in 2022.
It's mostly a problem in nursing homes and in patients who've been in the hospitals and, say, intensive care units for extensive period of time that have open wounds or IV catheters in.
Dr. Mark Doherty specializes in infectious diseases at Baptist Health. While he says the general public doesn't have to worry about Candida auris per se, it is problematic for a few reasons.
The systems that we have in labs to identify organisms don't sometimes miss this germ and misidentify it as another Candida species.
This makes testing difficult, but Baptist Health is working on PCR tests similar to those now used to test for COVID-19.
It's a nastier and a more aggressive than some of the other yeast organisms, so it can potentially start one place and go other places in the body.
Candida auris is also resistant to most antifungal antibiotics, making it more difficult to treat.
So this germ has to be first identified, and then if it's causing infection as opposed to just sitting on a surface, we have to use an intravenous antibiotic to take care of it.
The CDC says the most common symptoms are fever and chills that don't improve after antibiotic treatment for a suspected bacterial infection. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
And the CDC recommends talking with your healthcare provider if you believe you have any type of fungal or healthcare associated infection.